Every single day, about 6,000 women in the United States reach menopause. 6,000 every day. And yet, somehow, so many of us are walking around feeling confused, exhausted, emotional, and completely alone. Today's episode is for the woman who thought she was losing her mind, for the woman who just kept pushing through, for the woman who didn't realize her body was quietly changing long before anyone ever explained it to her. Welcome back to Sis It's the Pause. Before we go any further, let's just take a breath together. Inhale slowly. And exhale. You're safe here. You're not behind. You're not broken. Every episode, we sip a tea together. Today's tea is Moroccan mint. I chose this one on purpose because mint has a way of waking you up gently, not with a jolt, but with clarity. And this tea smells clean, fresh, like opening a window when the room has felt stuffy for too long. And honestly, that's what this conversation feels like. A little air, a little truth, a little relief. So let's get back to that number. 6,000 women a day. That means while you're listening to this episode, while you're driving, folding laundry, sitting at your desk, or lying in bed trying to rest, thousands of other women are crossing the same threshold. And most of them weren't prepared either. Because here's the part nobody talks about enough. Menopause isn't something that just happens in one day. For most of us, it starts years earlier, during perimenopause. It quietly, subtly comes in without an announcement. When I look back now, I see the signs that were there for me. I had night sweats that came and went, anxiety that showed up out of nowhere, a body that felt heavier, slower, more unpredictable. But at the time, I didn't connect any of it. I just thought I was stressed, overworked, doing too much. And because everything didn't hit all at once, I normalized it. I adjusted. I pushed through. I just kept going. It wasn't until multiple symptoms showed up together that I finally stopped and thought, wait, something isn't right. And sis, that moment is when everything changed for me. If you're listening right now and thinking, I've had some of these symptoms too, but I didn't know that they were connected, I want you to hear this clearly. You didn't miss anything. You weren't negligent. You weren't uninformed. You were simply never told. And this is why that number, 6,000 women a day, matters so much. Because if this transition were talked about openly, if it were normalized, if women were actually prepared, we wouldn't feel so isolated when it starts. Instead, many of us are having quiet internal battles while still showing up for everyone else. Still working, still caregiving, still holding things together. Meanwhile, our bodies are asking us to slow down. Let me talk about work for a minute, because this is where it really hits home. I don't remember ever seeing a woman at work having hot flashes when I was younger. No one talked about it. No one acknowledged it until one day it was me. I remember being in a meeting and I started sweating. My face got hot and it felt like I was in an inferno. My coworkers were handing me tissues because I literally was dripping. And then there were the days around noon when my body would just shut down. I wasn't tired like I needed coffee or an energy drink. I was tired like I need to disappear for a moment or I might cry. So yeah, I started disappearing around lunchtime. And I felt embarrassed, confused, ashamed, even though I shouldn't have. So if that's been you, sis, you're not weak. Your body is recalibrating in real time. And this is where compassion has to replace judgment for yourself and for other women. Sometimes we just need support, and support could feel like a flexible schedule or sitting near a fan, having a fan in your purse, turning the camera off on Zoom, choosing rest instead of pushing harder. And for me, it didn't just show up at work. It showed up in my personal life too. I had to stop making plans, not because I didn't want to go, but because I didn't have the energy anymore. I didn't want to explain why I couldn't show up again. So I just say maybe and hope that when the day arrived, I'd see where my energy level was. And that's lonely in a way people don't really talk about. So let me ask you something, and you don't have to answer out loud. Just sit with this. What has your body been asking you for that you've been talking yourself out of? I want to be honest with you. I'm not 100%. Most days now, I feel about 65 to 75%. And that's a huge improvement from where I was 3 months ago. That tells me something important. This season isn't about getting back to who we were. It's about learning who we are becoming. And with more awareness, more softness, more truth. As I've been sitting here with all of this, I realized there are some things that I really wish someone had told me earlier. The first thing is track your symptoms. Because like I said, they all didn't come in at once. The second thing is rest is not failure. If your body says nap, sis, you need to nap. The third thing, if a doctor dismisses you, find one who will listen and help you. 4, menopause is not something you just go through. 5, every woman experiences menopause differently. 6, there will be physical changes that can be hard to handle. 7, you are not too much. 8, You do not have to suffer or push through to prove anything. So, sis, if this episode felt personal, if something here sounded like your life, if you felt seen for even a moment, that's not an accident. This space exists because you exist. And you don't have to navigate this season alone anymore. If this conversation helped you, tap subscribe, leave a rating, or drop a heart or a comment so I know that you're here. And if there's another woman in your life who might need this reminder, share it with her. Until next time, sis. Peace first, always.